Hello YouTubers, welcome back, Steve Byrne here. In this video we're doing another Football Manager series. This one is called What If, and we are putting Arsenal in League 2 and we're going to give them 5 seasons to see if they can return to the Premier League and win anything along the way. If you like this kind of content that you've been watching lately, then please do feel free to smash that subscribe button, like the video and comment below if there's anything that you'd like me to check out in this Into the Future series. So, the first season of Arsenal being in League 2, we can see they went on to win League 2 very comfortably by playing 46 games. They won 37, drew 7 and only lost 2, and those 2 games were both away to Leyton Orient and Bolton. They scored an impressive 114 goals, only conceded 21 and had a massive goal difference of 93. So they finished that season with 118 points, miles ahead of Colchester, who finished second. So it's curious to see, did Arsenal sign anyone during that season? Let's have a look. So in the very first season, Arsenal didn't choose to sign anyone at all, but they did sell a bunch of players. So they've sold Socrates to Mainz, Rob Holding went to Palace, Mustafi went to Krasnodar, Kolasinac went to Marseille. I should say Mustafi was a loan. Smith Rowe and El Neni were loaned out to Atletico Pamplona and Leeds respectively. William was sold to Manchester United for 24 million that year, and Ben Sheaf to Reading, and Eddie Nketiah was signed by Bournemouth for 9.7 million. So let's go and have a look how they did in League 1. In the following season, Arsenal then went on to dominate League 1. They also finished top of that as champions. So they played 46 games, won 39, drew 6, and this time they only lost 1. And that was away to Plymouth 1-0. Scored 117 goals, only conceded 21, and had another good goal difference of 96, finishing that season with 123 points. So within 2 years, Arsenal were gone promotion back to back and they are now in the Championship. Let's go and have a look if they've signed any players. So in the second season they only brought in a few players, but they did either loan out or sell and release quite a few players. So let's have a quick look at who they brought in. They brought in Malang Sarr from Chelsea on loan, and then from Wolves they brought in Kijana Whoever, I hope I'm saying that right, and they managed to bring in Lucas Powell from York on a free. So the players that have departed would be Danny Phillips, following Balogun to Leeds for free. Balogun, should I say? Ainsley Maitland-Niles went to Bournemouth. Dinzei went to Bromley on loan. Xhaka was sold to Norwich. And then Willock and Osei Tutu were to Villa and Huddersfield respectively. Cedric was sold to Fiorentina. David Luiz has gone back to Brazil to play for Flamengo. Guendouzi was signed by Newcastle. Gabriel went to Bayern Munich. Callum Chambers went to Sheffield United. Then Harry Clark to Sheffield Wednesday. Mohamed El Neni to Rennes. And Luke Plange went to Bournemouth under-18s. So now they're in the Championship. Can they get 3 back-to-back promotions? Let's have a look. So Arsenal have achieved exactly that. They managed to get 3 promotions in a row. They've managed to finish top of the Championship by winning 37 of their 46 games, drawing 4 and lost 5, which were to Derby, Peterborough, Crystal Palace, Preston and West Brom. Scored 106 goals, conceded 28 and had a goal difference of 78. This time they had 115 points that won them the league. And it was a little bit closer as Bournemouth, were only 9 points behind. So another thing to mention in this video, we haven't altered any of the finances for the club. So what they had when they were in the Premier League is what they had when they were in League 2. So we're going into Season 4 now, and Arsenal are back in the Premier League. Let's see how they finished that season. But first, before we do that, let's take a look if they bought any players. In Season 3, they've been very busy in the transfer market. They've bought in Loftus-Cheek from Chelsea, loaned in Barkley, loaned in Alex Telles from United, and then they've also bought Rudiger from Chelsea, so they've done a lot of business with Chelsea. Brought in Brian Gill on a free transfer, loaned in Pelestri from United, Musaveik from Barcelona they bought. They bought Rugani for 5 million from Juventus. They've loaned in Christensen from Chelsea, more business with him. Then Diego Jota was loaned and De La Vega from United was loaned. And then they bought Chris Mepham from Bournemouth, Felipe from Atletico Madrid, more business for Chelsea as they brought in Kurt Zouma and then bought Christensen. Astor Frank, 41 million. Must be some player to spend that much. And then Ugurkan Kakir from Leicester for 24 million. And Dillian Hugerworth from Manchester United on a free. And in that season, their outgoings was Salah Ulad Mhand to Sparta. Saliba was sold to Leeds. Torreira went to Hertha Berlin. Joel Idaho and Zach Medley were loaned out to Derby and Middlesbrough. Alex Kirk went to Reading under-18s. Mavropanos was sold to Genoa. Emil Smith-Rowe was sold to Watford for 3 mil. Jordan Hayes to Reading under-18s. Pablo Marie was loaned out and Miguel Aziz was bought by Charlton. So let's go and take a look how they managed in the first season back in the Premier League. The first season back in the Premier League for Arsenal was probably considered quite a successful one. They managed to grab themselves a 6th place finish, which is good enough for Europa League football. Chelsea won the league that year. Arsenal finished with 66 points, so they were actually quite away from 4th place. So it doesn't look like Champions League football was really going to work out for them in that sense. So they're probably happy. Back in the Premier League, finished 6th, got themselves Europa League football. So in that first season back in the Premier League, let's go and look at their transfer activity. So the first two, we've already discussed them. That was just mixed up in the crossover of the season. So we're going to start their business with Jim Quigley from Manchester United. They loaned in Zinchenko from City. Then they bought Elias Abuchikabaka from Guimarães for 1.1 million. Loaned in Galeno from Chelsea. Signed Christopher Asia from Leeds for 29 million. Then Darwin Núñez from City for 24 million. And Ismaila Sarr for 25 million from Fulham. And that same season, they lost Bernd Leno to Dortmund on a free. They loaned out Hugerworth and McGuinness to Real Salt Lake and Colorado of the MLS. Felipe was sold to Panathinaikos for 2 million. Trey Coyle and Charlie Patino were loaned out to Coventry and QPR. They loaned out Idaho to Sporting KC, and then Hugerworth went to New York on loan again. 2 loans in the same year. Then they sold Runarsson to Nice for 7.5 million, and Mark McGuinness to Reading for 1.2, and Mauro Bandira was released on a free to Stoke under 23s. So they managed to get back to the Premier League within 5 seasons. So in this last season, let's see if they've managed to do themselves any justice by finishing higher than 6th. Arsenal's second season back in the Premier League isn't a very successful one, because they've gone on to finish that season 9th with only 57 points. There was 5 points away from the 7th place, which is the Europa Cup 2 place, and Leeds with 63. So there's probably a season to forget for Arsenal after getting back to the Premier League and getting Europa League football straight away this year. They haven't managed to finish in the top 6 at all, so they finished 9th. Let's see if they bought any players or sold any players during this period. Arsenal have been fairly active again in the transfer market. They've bought in Sean Swain from United for 1.6 million, and then they bought in 2-3 players, which was Ben Kiner and Duvan Zapata from Basel and Atalanta. Then they loaned in Galeno and Alex Telles. Once again, I think they've already loaned him in, those two, but either way. And then Eric Sotomayor from Independiente for 5.7 million, and Fedor Shalov from Moscow, CSKA Moscow, should I add, for 17 million. And in the outgoings, Patino was loaned out. Willock was sold to Burnley. Flores, Munluis, Rudiger were all loaned out. Emerson was sold to Shrewsbury. Trey Coyle, Tyrese John Jules, James Sweet were also all loaned out, as was Joel Idaho. And then Robbie Flanagan was sold to Derby under 18s before eventually loaning out Elias Abuchikabaka. So in that 5-year window, it would be interesting to see if they've had a change of managers, whether Arteta managed to keep his job for that whole 5 years, or have they been through different managers. Let's go have a look. So as we can see here, Arteta actually was there for the long haul. He's only just left his job. He was sacked. That's for finishing 9th, wasn't it? Yeah, look, it's the 12th of June 2025. He only left on the 19th of May. So Arsenal have only had one manager during that period. Let's go have a look if they've won any trophies. So I think we should add, actually, in League 2, they actually were runners-up at the Carabao Cup before getting promoted. Then, obviously, they won the League 2, League 1 and the Championship, so we're not going to count those as such. But a new trophy added to the collection, which they've probably never even seen before because of being a Premier League team, is the Papa John's Trophy. They managed to win that in the 22 season. But other than that, it doesn't look great showing for Arsenal, as they haven't really won any major competitions. They won the Community Shield when they were in League 2, but that's probably the only noticeable one that you could really mention. And lastly, we're going to have a look at their top 3 most expensive players at Arsenal right now. So I'm just going to update the value filter and let's have a look. So, their best rated player is the Brazilian wonder kid, Gabriel Martinelli. Let's have a quick look at his stats. Look. So he's been capped by Brazil. He's valued at 64 million. Let's have a quick look at his history, see if he's been moving around. So as we know, Arsenal signed him for 6 million from Ituano in the 2019-20 season, and he's been a good servant. He's been at Arsenal through League 2, League 1 and the Championship, and now that they're in the Premier League, he's still with them at the moment. And then the second most expensive player is the English wonder kid, Bukayo Saka. Let's have a look to see if he's been moving around. No, again, as we can see, he's been a good stalemate from League 2 all the way up to the Premier League in the last 5 years. Been a very loyal servant. And finally, we'll have a look at this one, and then I will check out the other one as well, because Galeno is actually a Chelsea player. So he's rated at 61 million, and he started his career off in Trindade in Brazil, and then Porto bought him before loaning him out to Portimonense Rio Ave, and then sold him to Braga before Chelsea picked him up for 13.7 million, and then they've loaned him out, yeah, that's right, twice to Arsenal in the last 2 seasons. So, as Galeno was a loan, we'll have one more look at an Arsenal player. This one is Astor Frank. He is a Belgian 22-year-old who plays in the centre of the park. He has 20 caps for Belgium and 5 goals. So let's have a quick look at his history. So he started his career in 2018-19 for KV Mechelen, and he stayed there till the 23-24 season, and that's when Arsenal purchased him when they just got back to the Premier League for £41 million. So Arsenal, they were successful in getting back to the Premier League. That was very easy for them, straight away promotion, and then promotion. Then they got themselves Europa League football in the 4th season, but have let themselves down in the last season, and Arteta has lost his job because of it, because they finished 9th. So overall, I think they're happy that they're back, but they need to address themselves and get a new manager now, who's going to fire them into the, what to begin with would be top 6, and then eventually top 4. But I think they're on the right path at the moment. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you like this kind of content. Like the video and comment below if you'd like to see any other experiments that I can do for you. Other than that, I'll see you in the next video. Take care.